Hello everybody. So I'm all showered up, basically ready for bed in my cozy robe because my room is nice and cool from the nice spring air. But I finally went through, I'm not kidding you guys, over 4 hours worth of TikToks, and I now have it narrowed down to 2 hours, 57 minutes, and 33 seconds. We need to just get into it. We are once again going to be talking about my favorite influencer, Adrielle Sigler. Now, if you don't know who she is, she's a mom of 3. TikTok is her main source of income. I'm not gonna lie, she's always in controversy, and I, don't know why. I think she rage baits. That's how she gets people to watch her content and, leave angry comments, because angry comments are still engagement. So she's figured that one out. Anyways, I think we just need to get right into it. So I'm going to show you the very first video of this entire situation.
My son had to stay after school. It is 5 o'clock. He's still not home. He had issues with Spanish class. He was going to stay after to finish an assignment and leave when it's done. It's 5 o'clock. I still haven't heard from my son. He hasn't walked home. He hasn't called for a ride. I'm blowing up his phone. I don't know where he is. I called the school and no one answered. His phone goes to voicemail. So I called the school and they don't answer. I think it's fucked up that if you have kids staying there after school, you should have your phones on at all times. You should answer the phone for parents at all times. If there are kids in your building, you should have your phones ringing and someone should be answering those phones at all times. So now I'm going to drive to the school and see if I can find him. I'm so sick of going through this. This is probably the worst school district I've ever had an experience with. This is Jamestown Public Schools. I'm in the school parking lot. I just got here. It's 5:05. This is terrifying. This lack of communication is just terrible. I didn't even know he was staying after today until I got a call from him, and then I called the school to confirm with the principal what was going on. I had a long talk with the principal. I really hope someone answers the door. I don't know if they're going to answer the door. No one's in the office. If they keep kids after school, they should tell us when they're going home. He's only 14. No one's here. I don't know what else to do. I've exhausted my resources. I'm going to have to call the freaking cops. I'm going to have to call the cops to find him. His phone is ringing. He's not answering. He always answers. Shit, I'm losing my mind. I just want to move out of this city. I fucking hate it here. He's not answering. I'm going to run home and confirm he's not home. And if he's not home, I have to call the cops. I will keep you guys posted. I just pulled over. My son is calling me. Where are you?
I'm on that street by that old school.
Okay, but where are you okay?
No, I'm not fucking okay. Just pick me up.
What? Where are you? He hung up. Call 911. I'm on the way. What school are you by?
911.
Where are you?
I'm on the other side of the street. I'm on the street that's...
What school? Jefferson or Rogers?
No, Rogers, yeah, on the other side.
Okay. I will be right there. Call 911. Okay. I just got here and he's not here. I called 911. They said they have no one available. Where are you? I am at the school and you're not here.
I'm coming to you. Back up your car a little bit.
I had to hang up my call with 911 because they said they have no one available and I can't find my son. What happened?
So yes, Adrielle did not know where her son was. She knew he had to stay after school, but other than that, she had absolutely no idea where he was. She goes around trying to find him. He finally calls her back and is obviously sounds distressed. And she finds him, and that's where the video leaves off. Now, before I really, jump into this too much more, I want to say I'm not condoning what happens in this entire situation. I'm not someone that typically thinks violence is the answer. I'm mainly talking about how Adrielle handles this whole situation. So do I think it's right that her kid got jumped? No, I don't. We'll talk about that more at the end because there is a little bit of a twist to the story So trust me, you're gonna want to hear that. But essentially, no, I don't think it's totally right that this kid got jumped. But really, what I'm talking about is how Adrielle is handling this whole situation. Okay, so anyways, she finds her kid. She's trying to figure out what happened. Also, I would like to say I'm sorry. I don't know why when I save these videos, the audio and like the visual don't line up. And it like just... you'll notice it gradually happens throughout the video. So I don't know why that happens. I just saved the video and then airdropped it to my computer. So sorry about that, but we're just gonna have to live with it for the sake of this video. So.
This kid right here. This is where my son was assaulted.
So after she finds her kid, then she posts a video just kind of explaining the situation. So I'm going to roll that for you.
My son has a chipped tooth now because of this kid right here. This is where my son was assaulted and almost lost his life. I thought they were in that new splash pad. They were actually right here in a very old swimming pool that once existed in the 1950s. And it was a very dangerous place to attack someone and jump someone. They're surrounded by woods. They led him down here. This boy did the most damage. This boy ran off with my son's new pair of Nike Jordans. This boy kept kicking my son while he was down and ripped off my son's gold chain. My son thinks they took the chain, but in the event it fell off his neck, I'm over here searching for it. I'm not finding the chain. My son almost lost his life right here. He almost lost his life today. And then he was threatened that if he tells anyone who these boys are, there were 9 of them. If this kid said, if you ever tell anyone who we are and what we did, we're coming for your house tonight. There were 9 other boys. I drove around. I know who some of them are because my son goes to school with them, and I saw them right here sitting on this porch. I slowed down. They sprinted. The minute they saw my car, they sprinted across the street, ran in the bushes. I followed them with my car. And then they finally slowed down and they said, "What?" Well, the one kept running because he had the shoes right up held to his chest. So he kept running because obviously I see the shoes. This kid and this kid got an attitude. "What? What's going on?" I said, "You know exactly what's going on. Give me the shoes and give me his chain." Then they started to run. They ran. This one played it off longer than expected. He just was like, "Is everything okay? Is everything okay?" And it turns out he's the one who did the most damage to my son.
So yeah, she completely drops their names, exactly what they look like. It's not like she's doxing them. She's not posting where they live online or anything. So that at least is good. However, I do think that when posting minors on the internet, you need to be super careful because that can always come back and bite you in the ass. So I think the fact that she confronts the kids is like really wild. But also, I guess, like, if I was a mom, chances are I would do something like that, too, So then after that, Adrielle posts this video talking about how she had to start a GoFundMe in order to move her and her family out of their current town. They are in Jamestown, New York. She talks about it all the time. I'm not gonna obviously say what her address is, but just know that's where she's from. She posts about it all the time. So, which is just not a smart move, but like it's wild how easily it would be to find her house because of her posting like around her house or on the outside of her house, the street view, like what she sees when she looks at the street, stuff like that. So it would be so beyond easy to figure out where this chick lives. So just know when you're posting online, be super cautious about that kind of thing. But anyway, so she now claims that she's fearful for her life. She's gonna pull her kid out of school. She's gonna homeschool him because she doesn't feel safe sending him back to school where these kids that beat him up also go to school, which, I mean, makes sense. I get it. But anyway, so then she's just like almost crying, saying how fearful she is for their lives and that she wants to move to a different town. Actually, initially she wants to move to a different state, but then we'll find out why later she can't do that. So according to her, New York State doesn't hold children accountable, which there are different laws and whatnot for minors. I don't know exactly what New York's are, but and she also goes back to the place where her son got beat up because she was going to try to find his gold chain. That's another thing. You got the, well, okay, sometimes she says it's $1,100, sometimes it's $1,300. So I'm not totally sure. I don't know if it maybe was $1,100, but then with taxes and everything, it came out to $1,300. I don't know why that would be the case, but anyways, girl, why? I don't know why she thought it was smart to give her kid a piece of jewelry that's that expensive. I don't even own a piece of jewelry that is that expensive, and I'm 25 years old. So then in the next video, I'm actually going to play it for you. She explains the situation just a little bit more, which I do want her to explain it to you just because she made a video about it. So why wouldn't I post her words about what happened with the situation, you know?
Today, the principal of Jefferson Middle School in Jamestown, New York, Jason Mank, told me that he would have my son call me when it's time for him to leave school. He had to work on a Spanish assignment. My son was expected to be at school until 4:45. It was 5 o'clock. I was getting worried. I hadn't received a phone call. I drive to the school. I call the school. No one's in the office. There's no answer. This is every mother's worst fear. Finally, my son called me in shambles. He had just been brutally attacked. He almost lost his life. There were 9 people jumping him, boys older than him, boys in the same grade as him. They lured him into the middle of the woods, surrounded by rocks. They ripped his clothes off into his shreds. They stole his shoes off of his feet. They ripped the chain from his neck that I just bought him for good luck. They said they were going to take his life. And then they said if he tells anyone what happened to him, they're going to come to my house tonight and take his life. And I blame that principal, Jason Mank, for what happened today. He said that he would call me when my son is ready to leave Jefferson Middle School, and he never did. The school was responsible for him. The school was supposed to call me at 4:45 when my son was ready, but instead they didn't. They just let my son leave the building, and my son just coincidentally walked into a trap that was premeditated by those older boys, got brutally assaulted and robbed, and almost lost his life. And I need to move as soon as possible because those kids are planning to come to our house tonight. They threatened him. They said, if you tell anyone what happened, we're coming to your house tonight. And my son, he didn't have to say anything. I found them myself. I drove around. I saw the boy. I know who it was. I saw my shoes in his chest, my son's shoes. They were sitting on a porch. When they saw me slow down in my car, they sprinted across the street and ran away from me. So I followed them with my car. I got pictures of their faces, thankfully, and submitted all of that information to the authorities. But I'm more concerned about moving the hell out of this city. Crime is too high. It's too dangerous here. I'm moving out of state. The state of New York does not have our safety in mind. These kids can get away with committing crimes because it's illegal to put children in jail. I am terrified, and for our own safety, I'm not sharing any names. I posted a picture to try to identify the one boy who really brutally attacked my son the worst. My son's shoulder is almost dislocated. His tooth is chipped. His ribs are bruised. If you were to see him, there's mud on his face. It looks like he was on the set of a zombie film. It's terrifying. And the craziest thing is I had a nightmare last night about my son, and I woke up with a panic attack crying with tears streaming down my face. I should have followed my instincts. I'm back at the hospital now. I'm moving. I'm putting this GoFundMe together. Anyone who wants to help, we need to move as soon as possible. Our lives are in danger, and I am terrified. The link is in my bio. That's a good amount of money for me to pay off a lease. I don't think I'll get approved.
So she, in that video, she mentions a lot of identifiable information. And it's like, if you're fearful for your life, why would you say all that? You know what I mean? Like, make it make sense. Anyways, so then I think these videos, she kind of posted them like a little out of order, because then in the next one, she's with her son at the hospital. So here's that one.
This is the hospital bed my son has been laying in. This is the mud that has been covering his clothes. He's covered in blood. He's covered in mud. His clothes are ripped off of him. He's not wearing any shoes.
A group of 9 or 10 boys jumped him, brutally assaulted him after school. They ripped the shoes off his feet, his brand new Nike Jordans. The boys told my son if he tells anyone what they did, they're going to come to our house tonight or the next time we're home, break in, and take our lives. I can't even, and I don't want to, show the condition my son is in right now. This is like a walking, living nightmare. He's getting CAT scans, RT scans, x-rays. This is terrifying. Not only did they premeditate this to rob him, they're also threatening all of our lives. I need to move as soon as possible. I don't feel safe anymore in the city of Jamestown, New York. As much as I try to make things positive, things like this happen. The crime is too high.
And then she posts even more from the doctor's office.
At this point, my income fluctuates. I don't know if I'd be approved, but I know if I pay a lease off in full, like 6 months or 12 months in full, I'd be more likely to be approved, and that is why the GoFundMe is so high. Also, moving furniture and stuff like that and hiring movers, and I plan on moving out of state, is going to be a lot. Utilities. I am fucking terrified right now. I have pictures of all the boys' faces, well, 3 of them. I have some names, and we did file a police report, but some of these boys are in school with my son, and I do not feel safe taking my son home, taking my son to school tomorrow. We are live right now. I set a 15,000 point gift as a live goal. Those of you who can't send on GoFundMe, if you send us a gift now while we're at the hospital. My son's shirt is totally shredded up right now. He's covered in mud. It's just terrible, but we will be live until further notice. We're at the hospital, so I'm just stressed out. I was thinking about making the live goal larger, but I don't know if it's easier for someone to send a 15,000 point. I just am like having a panic attack. I've been having a panic attack since I've been here, obviously. I've never received a lion.
A ton of small ones. Did you cry? No.
A ton of small ones, he says. I wish I could do that, but I can't. So.
And then she does an even better video about the entire situation with like more details, which I will say does make sense, because as it progresses and as you talk to like your kid who was the one that got beat up, of course you're gonna find out more information and like get a better full picture of it. So here's her explaining it. I love the music she uses.
The boys who brutally assaulted my son premeditated the assault. They knew my son had to stay after school until 4:45, so they waited for him. Jefferson Middle School of Jamestown, New York Public Schools was responsible for my son. They promised me that my son would call me when it's time for him to be picked up. My son never called me from their phone. The teacher never called me. They just let him go. I had just spoken with the principal on the phone that he's being severely bullied. The boys waited outside for him. He crossed the street. They said, "Hi, Sven. Let's go for a walk. What's up, bro?" They lured him into the woods. When they got him into a secluded area, all 9 boys surrounded him. They said, "Give us your $30. For some reason, they thought he had cash. They thought he had $30, and he said, "I don't have cash on me." They said, "Give us your phone." He said, "I don't have my phone on me." They said, "Give us your AirPods." He said, "I don't have my phone on me, so I don't have my AirPods." Then they took him down. They almost ripped off his ear. His entire ear is purple. They chipped his tooth. He's covered in abrasions and mud. They all jumped on him and started kicking him in the ribs. They kicked him in the head. He suffered a head injury because of this. He has to see an emergency dentist tomorrow. While he was down, they ripped off his brand new Nike Jordan gym shoes. They ripped off his $1,300 gold chain that I had just bought him from K Jewelers. Then when they were almost done, they all got in his face while his face was to the ground in the mud. And they said, "If you tell anyone we did this to you, we're going to come back to your house tonight and do what we did last year. And we're going to jump you again." Then they ran off shouting, "And we're going to curb stomp you and bring a pointy weapon. So I had no idea my son was being assaulted. I was driving around looking for him. I was driving to the school. finally I was able to find my son, and I drove him straight to the emergency room. And when I brought him to the emergency room, my family arrived to sit with him. And my other family member called me and she said, I see the boys. Because these boys had slept over and had a sleepover at my mom's house before. And she saw them sitting on a porch. So I left the hospital and I drove by that porch. And when I slowed my car down, all the boys sprinted in different directions. They started running. So the ones who I know, who my son named, I'm not giving any names or faces yet, I followed them. I said, give me back his shoes. They just kept running. And then the one said, what's going on? What's going on? I said, you know exactly what's going on. He's like, no, I don't. What's going on? And when I recorded this encounter, I went back to the hospital after I got pictures of the 3 boys, and I showed the video to my son. He said, that's the boy who did it the most. That's the boy who got me the worst, right in the ribs, right in the head, right in the ear. My son almost lost his ear. So I have not released their names yet. I have pictures of them. I haven't released their pictures yet. 2 of the boys are in the same grade as my son, but one is expelled from school, so he doesn't go to the same school, but the other one is in my son's grade at school, and the other boys were in high school. They were out for one thing, and that was to rob my son. And they did, and I obviously, filed a report with the police, and pictures were taken, and the medical records are going to be forwarded to the police. And right now I don't feel safe in my house because our lives are being threatened.
Oh, and then, of course, if you thought she was done posting from the hospital, she was not. So, roll that.
So I have put a GoFundMe together to escape as soon as possible, move out of this city. There's too much high crime. The people here are dangerous. And unfortunately, I live in a city where criminals are raising criminals. Doctor's in the room. I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, that's true. I also drink this same water in the science classroom.
Come here.
What?
I'm glad you're okay.
Me too.
That thing with the teeth had me so afraid.
It's okay.
I'm glad you're okay. Wait, you can't leave yet. It's fine, you can't leave yet. He's okay. Doctor said he's okay. He's good. He has abrasions, so it's recommended to leave them open. And then they stole his brand new Nike Air Jordans. Yes, they go to his school, and then the older boys go to the high school.
Okay, never mind.
Hey guys, so did the doctor say we can go to the front or no?
I don't know.
I think we'll wait. Hey, wait, let me see your hair. Turn around.
Why? Oh yeah, they spit on me too. Forgot to mention that.
Do you want to take a shower?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can't leave yet.
No, we're just gonna wait. We'll be fine to wait. I don't know what to do. I want to stay. I want to go home.
And let's go home.
Yeah.
But I don't feel safe there. They literally said they're coming. They said if you tell
Let's
anyone.
go to a hotel.
They said if you tell anyone we're coming to your house tonight, breaking in, and just got done at the emergency room, and I really hope that you're okay, and we're gonna figure out our arrangements for tonight. I know. I don't know what to do. I'm just terrified. No, you can't see him. I'm sorry. We just took pictures of him. Even though the police took pictures of him, we just took pictures. His ear looks like they tried to rip his ear off, dude. It's fucking crazy. And I can't show you his condition because that would violate the guidelines. It's like graphic content, so. But okay, I'll be right back. I can't show you his condition because that would violate the guidelines. It's like graphic content, so. But okay, I'll be right back. And his ear almost got ripped off. But luckily, his bones are all okay. I have to take him to an emergency dental visit tomorrow because his tooth got chipped. It's just sickening. $8, I know. So. All right, guys, I will be back. I'm just this whole thing is traumatizing.
So then after that, she talks about. So then after she's done at the hospital, she talks about what happened when she was calling 911 to try to get some police help in this situation. Now, I'm going to play those clips for you. Keep in mind, you guys, I am going to be summarizing some of these videos because, like, I can explain it a little bit quicker than she does in the video. But for a lot of the information, if we're hearing about it for the first time, I'm going to play her clip. More than likely, if it's a bigger piece that's important to the story, I'm going to play her clip. But she gets very redundant. So out of those, 4 hours worth of TikToks that I saved that were important, keep in mind that was already, her videos very downsized and condensed to me saving only videos that were offering new information. So of that, she posts tons of TikToks about the situation. But so there's 4 hours that I saved of new information that I was hearing in these videos. Then I whittled it down to 2 hours, 57 minutes worth of new information, like cutting out the stuff that she repeats. So that just kind of goes to show you how redundant she is. So there's going to be things that I'm paraphrasing, but then I will also, like I said, include videos with information that we're just hearing for the first time because it's important to hear it from her. So here she is now talking about her experience with 911 in Jamestown, New York.
Today I experienced everyone's worst nightmare. I called 911 and they didn't answer the phone. This was in Chautauqua County, Jamestown, New York. I also experienced every mother's worst nightmare. My son was lured into the woods, jumped, and brutally assaulted by 9 boys. When I called 911, I was driving. I told them the location I was at. My son had just ran there from the woods. People were after him. He escaped. I don't know if they're looking for him. This is the street we're on. We need your help. We need an officer to come here now to find these people who almost took my son's life. I gave them my name and where I was. I told them the school I was at. The 911 dispatcher said, okay, we don't have any officers available right now. So I hung up the phone. I tried to call my son. I didn't know where he was. He had a minor head injury and he wasn't coherent. He was in a state of shock. And he kept saying where he was without saying where he was. And it was so confusing. So I called 911 again. And it kept ringing, 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 ringing. Finally, I find my son. I call 911 again. And I told them we are on our way to the emergency room. And they said, okay, an officer will meet you at the emergency room. And while we were at the emergency room, my family showed up. And my other family member said that she saw the boys because we know the name of the boys. And my mom knows what they look like because they had a sleepover at her house before. So since my family member was with my son in the emergency room, I got in my car. And I saw where the boys were, so I called 911 again. I said, the boys who just assaulted my son are all sitting on a porch at this address. And 911 said that they can't send an officer. And then when I started slowing down, as I was on the phone with 911, the boys sprinted. They started running. So I told 911, they're running. They're running for me. These boys almost took my son's life today, and they threatened to come after him again for his life. And so the 911 dispatcher said, just wait for the officer to get to the emergency room. So Jamestown, New York, Chautauqua County 911 dispatcher failed to send an officer to drive up the street where these boys were running. I told them the exact direction they were going, what street they were on and everything. And said to just wait at the hospital. And they just let the kids run off. So the police didn't show up for like 35 minutes. And I was driving in the direction the boys were running so I could get pictures of their faces to show the police. And I'm glad I did. I got pictures of their faces. But it is crazy how the 911 system failed us today. I am just grateful that at this point in time, my house is safe, my son is safe, but I don't feel safe. I feel very threatened. I feel like if I call 911, they might not pick up the phone. They let it ring like 6 or 7 times. I hung up. I had to keep calling. It was insane. That is insane. The crime is 84% higher than the national average. If there's an absolute emergency, 911 will answer the phone and there will be an extreme delay at getting police to where there is an emergency. That is scary. Now, obviously, the police finally showed up, took the report, took photos, but today when I was in the ER, I filed a rental application. So I might be taking a road trip soon to view some apartments out of state, and I'm not going to be saying where I live. I need to take my son to the emergency dentist tomorrow. He can only eat soft foods and fluids right now because I don't even want to talk about this. I need as much support as I can possibly get right now because I literally spent more than half the money I had last month on my car repairs, a rental car, and I paid my rent. I have 2 landlords, so I paid my rent until the end of August. That's 4 months. And then I paid my other landlord 3 months for the garage I rent.
And then something that I thought was actually really interesting is she recorded a phone call that she had with her son's principal, legit like an hour before her son ended up getting beat up by these kids. Now, one thing about Adrielle, Miss Girl is gonna record everything. So obviously, we have a video of the conversation.
I am like fed up, and I don't like that he's being singled out, and if he needs to be truthful if the kid and give the kid's name so that it can all be sorted out. Because if he's not giving the kid's name because he's afraid it's going to lead to bullying, it needs to be addressed. All of the kids need to be addressed. And as for him being searched for drugs the other day, that was totally above and beyond. That's not something that a kid should have to go through. I don't know if you see a pattern that's developing here. So anyway.
Well, like I said, with regards to Sven, I will absolutely, speak with him and say, hey, look, I had a good conversation with your mom. She's concerned that kids are making fun of you. How can we help you? Because, we don't want you to get in trouble.
They're not making fun of him. They're harassing him.
It's the classic thing of, it's always the second person that reacts that gets caught. You know what I mean? And so if there are things that are triggering him, of course you want to help out Sven. And we will talk to him about that.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
All right, well, it was nice connecting with you, and I'll talk to Sven here for a little bit.
And then she makes another video about how the situation escalated after she talked to the principal, and then apparently these boys were kind of egging her son on a little bit, saying like, your mom doesn't make that much money from TikTok. She's not actually making money from TikTok. She's actually in the adult film industry. And according to her, then they said much worse things, which actually, if you go to her Instagram, she has some posts about her feet that actually does make me wonder if she posts some content maybe. That's an assumption on my part. I have no other reason than a very interesting video she posted on Instagram to think that. I just think it's kind of funny. So then she goes out. While her son was in the ER, she left him. He was with another family member, so like he was in good hands. And she went out and she actually found the boys, or some of the boys that beat up her son, and kind of confronted them from her car.
I confronted the boys who assaulted and robbed my son, and I recorded it. I saw them with the shoes and they ran. I've been debating whether or not I should post this video, but here it is.
Give me the shoes! Right now! I see them in your hand! Fess up! Don't run away from me! You're on camera with the shoes! You almost killed my son! I see you!
Yup. I caught them red-handed. There's another one, too. There's one on the bicycle.
Almost died! Do you want to be responsibility of someone else's death?
They just ran off.
And then Adrielle does a sit-down video with her son, and she's just kind of asking him some questions and whatnot. Now, anytime he's in a video, I will say she has been good about not posting his face because he does not want to be on camera. He said that, even though he's been on her TikTok before, whether or not he actually wanted to be in her TikToks. But now she's finally respecting his boundaries. So anyways, she does this whole thing with him, but I'm going to show that to you because we don't actually hear a ton from him. So anytime we do, I want to play that for you because at the end of the day, he was the one that got beat up. So we should hear how things went or anything he has to say about the situation from him.
I'm sitting here with my son. So far, we have raised $263 of our $30,000 goal. We've had 13 people donate. I created a GoFundMe while you were in the ER. Yeah. And I also submitted a rental application through a property management service out of state and the GoFundMe is to move. My son does not want to be on camera. He does not want to talk much about this. He is suffering through a minor head injury right now, and do you have anything to say to the audience watching these videos following this story?
I don't know.
Don't move to Jamestown, New York. That's the advice you have for the people. Yeah, that is true. I just regret not being able to, like, I could kick myself that I didn't go to the school when I expected you would be leaving the school, but I thought you would call me. Why didn't you call me?
I don't know.
Why didn't you call me?
I didn't realize too at the time. I forgot to.
But you literally, this is the first time he's walked home from school since last year. This is the first time he's walked, and then he gets robbed and assaulted. The first time he starts to walk home, you weren't even 2 blocks from the school.
No.
Everyone is asking if you're okay. They're asking you to just send a message and give them an update, and that can't come from me. So if you want to give them an update and talk about how you're feeling.
I feel about the same, and I don't know.
Yeah, he still has the same pain as earlier. He thought his shoulder was dislocated, but the x-rays showed that he's fine. Like, in that sense, with his shoulder. So, wow. 9 people. If you could move, how soon would you want to move?
No.
Right now?
Yeah.
Do you feel safe returning to school?
No, that's why I'm not.
No. It's gotten to the point where it's just dangerous in the school. The school takes 0. On a scale of 1 to 10, what effort does the school put into prevent bullying?
Like a 1.
Jefferson Middle School, Jamestown Public Schools. So he's staying home. He's not returning to school. I'm going to try to have him homeschooled for his safety, because the school is not doing anything to make him feel safe. And I have no words. I want my son to be in one piece. I want him to be alive and well, and I don't want him to be harassed, bullied, or physically harmed ever again. And if I have to pull him out of school and homeschool him, I will, until we move. And as for tomorrow, we have an emergency dentist appointment. Are your teeth feeling better?
Yeah.
Thank freaking God. I love you. You should, we should, when you change into your pajamas, you should show them the shirt you're wearing. Do you want me to show them? Sure. I'm gonna just show you the shirt. Just like an example. Can you make it not inside out? Thank you. So this is his back to summer shirt. I took him back to summer shopping. Shirt is all torn up. Mud. Let's get a flashlight. He's shining the flashlight. How do I don't, like... Did they pull it around? Did they pull it, try to choke you with it?
No.
Okay. It's absolutely crazy. He had to go to the hospital with no shoes. I'm gonna go to the mall and get you this shirt again. Bless you. I love you. I'm sorry. I don't want.
Military Blue Jordan 4s that they said.
He wants to buy the shoes again. That's what, because they got stolen. And the chain, I can't afford to get the chain.
Yeah.
And I can't afford to get those shoes, but I can afford to replace the shirt.
Yeah. All right.
I'm sorry. And we will go live together tomorrow. I hope he doesn't wake up feeling even worse tomorrow than today.
I shouldn't.
How does your head feel?
Like a headache.
Do you feel dizzy?
No.
Okay,
I
good.
did a little bit in the ER, but that's it. Oh, gosh.
Can you turn around real quick?
What? Take a picture.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take a picture.
Oh my, can you put your chin up and then put your arms out? And then like your shoulder in the back of your shoulder. Yeah, look at how you're, oh yeah, that's, oh my God. Look at, what was that from? Like the burn from like the rocks or the being like, or was it like, it looks like you got like scraped. Like, are those like nail scratches?
Probably.
Or is it from being up against the rocks?
I was on leaves and dirt.
Leaves, yeah, there were a ton of rocks there too, though.
Yeah, well.
It's all rocky and dirt. I'm gonna go say goodnight to him and then I'll be back. Okay, I might be going live soon, but.
And then another new piece of information that we actually do get from Adrielle is that this is not the first time that her son has had issues with this group of kids. Because there was like 9 boys and 1 girl, so I'm just gonna say kids. We actually learned that this group of kids and her son have had issues since like last year. So Adrielle will explain kind of the very first issue that her son had with this group of kids.
Who remembers the stolen AirPods? My son's stolen AirPod Pros. My son has been terrorized for a year ever since I let him join an indoor skate park last year. Crime is high in Jamestown, New York. Criminals raise criminals. We had just moved here from rural Pennsylvania. My son had never come in contact with criminals before. He did not understand the warning signs. This all started in April of 2023. He joins a skate park. He meets a terrible group of boys. I went on vacation for my birthday. While I was away, somehow the boys gained access to my house, ransacked and robbed my house. They stole all of his Air Jordans. They stole his Nintendo Switch, his VR Oculus. They stole his Xbox One. They stole money in his bedroom. They broke my daughter's bedroom mirror and tore her bed apart, and completely trashed my apartment while I was in California. I had to have a video call with the police while they were searching through my house. Fast forward, I come back from vacation, a couple of months go by, and my son has a sleepover with a boy named Noah. Noah was one of the boys who jumped my son today. Noah is expelled from school. He got put in another school. He got expelled from that school. So Noah moved out of state, got expelled from that school. Then he came back to Jamestown, New York, and he's on probation. My son didn't understand how dangerous criminals are. He invited Noah over to my mom's house for a sleepover while I was working. Noah stole his AirPod Pros off the coffee table at my mom's house. I filed a police report against Noah. Noah never gave my son his AirPod Pros back. Fast forward to summer of 2023, because that was in May-ish, like May of 2023. A different boy who was in the same group of kids that ransacked my house, who's connected to Noah, gets angry at my son and decides to start slashing my tires. And he didn't just do it one night, he did it again the next night. I'd have my car towed twice in 2 days, so I had to start renting a garage. Then they start graffitiing our house. Then the kid starts vandalizing our house. I reported the AirPods to the police. I reported the vandalism to the police. Nothing was done, so I went to the probation office. I haven't revealed the probation officer's name, but I'll tell you one thing. The probation officer defended these boys, and she also said she's not a babysitter. She can't enforce their curfew. If they're breaking their curfew, I need to prove it. My surveillance camera wasn't enough. Then Christmas comes around the corner. I can't remember when I got my son another pair of AirPod Pros. It was either for Christmas. I think it was for Christmas. I get him AirPod Pros around like Christmas time. Couple months go by. His AirPod Pros got stolen again at school by another unidentified kid, and the school did nothing about it. But this time, I have a GPS tracker on the AirPods, so I report it to the police.
The police couldn't do anything. The same way the police couldn't recover his Nintendo Switch, his Xbox, all of his stolen shoes, his money. The police couldn't do anything. The probation officer, what's her name? She couldn't do anything. She sat there, that probation officer, and defended the kids who she oversees as a probation officer. That New York State. And the police, they go to the house that the AirPods are at. There's nothing they can do. Time goes by, I get over it. And then my mom buys my son another pair of AirPods. Because I'm done buying AirPods. Now today, that little kid, Noah, and his friend Drake, they're both expelled from school because they're criminals. I don't think people understand what it's like. I never understood how children can be criminals. That's crazy. I never realized that children can be criminals. They are. They play it off nice with my son, and I've told my son so many times, I don't care how nice someone is being, don't talk to them. If they're trouble, don't talk to them. If you need help getting removed from the situation, call me. See part 2. Part 2. After being harassed and terrorized by a group of juvenile delinquent boys, my son finally got another pair of AirPods. After my house being ransacked and robbed, after my house being vandalized, after my tires being slashed, after 2 pairs of AirPod Pros being stolen, after his Oculus VR, his Xbox One, 3 pairs of Jordans, a year had finally passed, things cooled down. My mom buys him another pair of AirPods. I take my son back to summer shopping. I buy him a gold chain, real gold. My mom buys him some new pairs of Nike Jordans. My son is going to school wearing Jean Gaultier cologne. These kids are getting jealous. They're talking about him. They're talking about how he said his chain is real. They're talking about the shoes that he's wearing to school. 2 of the boys are expelled, but they have internal friends who are in the building. My son just got a new phone. My son just got new AirPods. They get wind that my son has to stay after school, wait for him outside of the building, play nice with him, act like they want to be friends again because they're criminals, lure him into the woods.
So, one thing about Adrielle is she keeps saying that her son nearly lost his life and that it was like an attempted murder or something. Which, okay, look, I don't want to downplay this whole situation and whatnot, but her son went into the doctor and then left, was able to walk out of the doctor. So I agree, where did he almost lose his life? Because he didn't even have any broken bones. It's like his injuries were not life-threatening. So I do think that she's using that term incorrectly, but I'm gonna let her tell you why she describes it like that.
If 9 boys jump 1 boy and smash his face against the pavement, in my opinion, that's attempted murder. That is life-threatening. That's not a fist fight. When 9 humans are jumping on 1 human, smashing their face into the cement, my son was spitting out blood and mud. And when he blew his nose, mud came out of his nose. So for those of you who disagree with me when I say they were trying to take his life, we must have a different outlook on life. I know for a fact if someone were to smash my head into pavement, I would feel that my life is being threatened. Next, he was in the emergency room. He received CAT scans, RT scans, x-rays. Thank God his x-rays, RT scans, and CAT scans came back good. He has a head injury, but he doesn't have broken bones. He's 14 years old. But when my kid comes running to my car from someone's backyard where he was hiding, covered in blood and mud, with his entire face smashed in, and tells me to gas it and go, I'm going to take that seriously. And that's life-threatening in my opinion.
So then the next time we hear from Adrielle will be the following morning. She is a wreck. She hasn't changed her clothes. But her son did end up chipping his tooth from getting beat up and whatnot. So she wanted to find a dentist to get this fixed and make sure he didn't have any other dental problems or didn't mess up any other teeth or have issues with his jaw, which good call. I think that was probably the right move. I'm gonna play the clip where she talks about needing to get him in to see a dentist, and then again she records a phone call trying to get him in. So here are those clips.
I just woke up. I'm a nervous wreck. I'm in the same clothes as yesterday. I have to shower in a moment. Right when I woke up, I called the dentist and realized they're closed. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then I called the school to talk with the principal, but he's currently not in the building. He's having a meeting elsewhere. So I briefly spoke to the secretary about what's going on and if they have remote learning programs in the event a student is fearful for their life in the building and wants to be at home because he and his family are at risk. And she said she can't answer those questions, basically. She said she can't answer those questions, but she'll have the principal call me back to do some sort of remote learning until it gets resolved with the police, until the investigation is over. In the meantime, I have got to find an emergency dentist. So his teeth passed. They passed in the x-ray, but the x-ray doesn't cover loose teeth, and I don't want to talk about it because it's freaking me out. I just want my son to see a dentist today. I am in Jamestown, New York.
Thank you for holding. A representative will be with you in a moment. May I assist you today?
Hi, I'm in Jamestown, New York, and my son has a primary dentist, but they're closed, and he needs to see an emergency dentist. I was wondering if your office provides emergency visits.
I have to see if we have any same-day appointments, and if not, I can go over the emergency information with you. You're inquiring about the Lakewood, New York location?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to... How old is your son?
14.
14. All right, so I'm going to start with you. Since he's a minor, can I have your first name?
Adrielle, Adrielle.
And is your son having any pain, bleeding, or swelling?
He was attacked after school. 9 boys jumped him, and he went to the emergency room. They took x-rays. They gave him an RT scan, a CAT scan, and the bones are all... They all passed. His bones are all good, including his teeth. But there's a minor chip on his front tooth, and he, unfortunately, feels the whole right side of his face that the teeth are loose, and it's really scary. So the emergency room can't handle loose teeth, and I don't know how to help him. And I would like him to see a doctor sooner than later for his teeth, because if they're loose, there's only so much time until he can get treated.
Yes, ma'am. And I can definitely assist with this. So he has loose teeth on the left side?
Though I think it was his right side.
And is there any pain, bleeding, or swelling?
There was bleeding, yeah, and he's in pain, but he's in the other room right now. I haven't asked how his teeth are feeling today.
That's fine. And you're inquiring about the Lakewood, New York location?
Yes.
And then, can I have his first name?
Sven.
So I will schedule for an exam by the dentist. They will help with his loose teeth and his pain, and then the office will schedule any treatment. I'm going to have your zip code so I can check surrounding locations.
14701.
You said 14701?
Yes.
All right, give me one moment. I'll look around and see how soon I can get him in. Give me one moment. So the offices do close early on Fridays. The only thing that I have available for today is at 10 a.m.
I can get there. I'll leave right now.
Is that the Dirkirk, New York location?
That's 45 minutes away. It's 9:50. I won't be able to get him there in time.
That's the only thing that I have available for today. What I can do for you is I can hold this Monday, May 6th at 9 a.m. These are free to hold, free to cancel, and I may have some more options available for you. Once I get to the end of the call, I can see if I can help what I can do to try to squeeze him
No,
in
it's
sooner.
his primary dentist reopens on Monday, so I might as well just wait until Monday. I really hope his teeth are okay until then. It's crazy. I can't believe there's no
But
emergency.
I may have more options available for you. I just have to hold this appointment. By the time I get to the end, I'll let you know what type of emergency I can get him in for.
Okay.
All right. And then does he have any dental insurance?
Yes, he has.
Do you have any additional family members that may need an appointment at this time?
No.
All right. And then I need to add you to the account since he is a minor. The first name was ADRIELLESGLER. And then your date of birth?
April 6th.
And then does he require any special accommodations when he comes in?
No.
All right. So, I keep doing that. Give me one moment. So I'm going to go over this appointment I held, and then I'm going to go over the other options I have available. So these appointments are free to hold city council. If you need to cancel or reschedule, just give us a call back and select option 2. He can go in at the Dunkirk, New York location at 3 his insurance card. And I also want to let you know, offices do accept walk-ins whenever the offices are open. However, due to high demand, not all offices can always accommodate. They will try to accommodate you, but there are no guarantees on wait times. If you decide to walk in, be sure to set the wait time as soon as you arrive. So you can walk into any of the offices, just let them know you have that appointment held for Monday, May the 6th at 9 a.m. So they can check the check-in notes. I'm sending everything over to the office. That way they'll have everything. If you guys decide to walk in, the offices do close early on Fridays. Let me see. So the Dunkirk location closes at 1:30 today, so that from 8 to 1:30. And then the Lakewood location.
Yeah, Lakewood is really close to me. That's like not even 10 minutes away. If you could get him in there, that would be ideal.
Or you can walk into any of the locations. And then the Lakewood, New York location, they close at 1 o'clock today.
Can I schedule an appointment, or does it have to be walk-in?
You have to walk in. I don't have anything appointment-wise.
Oh, okay. I'll do a walk-in. Thank you.
And then when you walk in to whichever location you decide to walk in at, just let them know that you have an appointment held for Monday, May the 6th at 9 a.m. That way they can pull up check-in notes.
Okay. Does it matter if it's at a different office? That Monday appointment.
Yeah, it doesn't matter which office you walk into.
Okay, thank you. I'll head there soon.
All right. Thanks for calling. You have a great day.
Okay, thanks. You too. Bye.
So then that same morning, Adrielle has somebody at her door and she's kind of freaked out, a little jumpy from this whole situation. She's worried about this group of teenagers that they might, want revenge and whatnot, like she had said before. But I'm going to play you this clip because, again, new information, and you can just see how she handles the situation and what the person on the other side of the door had to say. And I'm going to play it for you.
Someone's at the door. Who is it? Shh. Don't go near the door. Go to the back kitchen. Who is it? Who is it? Yeah, please leave right now.
Yeah, I was going to give you my stepdad's number so you could give it to the police.
Okay, hold on, Mom. Go to the kitchen. Mom, go to the kitchen. Go to the kitchen right now. Go to the kitchen. Just a moment. No.
911.
My son was jumped and brutally assaulted yesterday, and one of the boys involved is on my doorstep knocking on my door. I am at
Apartment 2. Do you know who he is?
I can't open the door. Sorry. I don't want to go close to the door.
No, I mean, okay, but did he say who it was yesterday when he was assaulted or no?
Yeah, and it was all reported in the emergency room.
Okay, but
Please, I need. They're here, and I don't know if they have weapons. And
I know we have the police. Yeah, I have to get information. The police can't just come over there blindly without knowing what's going on. What's your name?
Adrielle Sigler, Sigler.
What is it?
Adrielle Sigler, Do not open the door. Go
just a minute. Walk to the kitchen. If they have a weapon, you're in danger. Go to the kitchen. I know. Be quiet. Please, my name is Adrielle Sigler, Sigler.
Sigler, okay.
Uh-huh.
Is that a whole house you said, or apartment number 2?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, number 2.
Okay, we'll have them head over there.
Thank you. What's your name again? Why would I need... Mom, go to the kitchen and stay out of this. This is something for you to stay out of. Right. Our lives are a little in danger right now. I don't know who you are.
Yeah, I know that.
I don't know why someone would need my phone number.
No, they want to call you because they're willing to take my brother up to the police station for all this because he did it and that he's like, I don't know how to explain that. They want him to confess to it and that they got him on video doing it to your son. We got the evidence proof of them doing this to your son. We got them all on video doing it.
Okay, I think that does he have the same last name as you?
No, it's David Johnson.
Oh, David Johnson on the bike.
Yeah, he's my little brother, and I was calling to let you know that my stepdad would like to speak to you, and that if you wanted to speak to David and let him know, and that stuff like that you could, and that if you wanted, I could try to get your son's stuff back for you, because I've done to my little brother that he shouldn't be doing this stuff. Man.
He shouldn't be doing it, but why didn't they just go to the police themselves? Why are they coming here to give me their number?
I don't know, but it had me heartbroken that my brother's doing this to your son and stuff like that. Give him the information through the door. My stepdad's number and my mom's number, I can give it to you, and you can take it to the police station so they can contact them.
What is your mom's name?
Michelle Moriarty.
Hey, I know her brother Brandon. Is that her brother Brandon?
I'm Braden.
No, Michelle, your uncle. You would have an uncle named Brandon.
That's my stepfather, Brandon.
Brandon is involved in this?
No, he's not involved with it, but he wants to talk to you so he could get David, so he could have either you or the police contact Brandon. I could call Brandon right now. If you wanted me to tell you, but I was just letting you know. You don't have to come out here and none of that. I would just like you to know that one of their names is.
But if Brandon's what's her maiden name?
Is my mom's name is Michelle Bennett.
Oh. I don't know if I feel safe opening the door or taking that number.
Alright, it's up to you. I was just concerned. I was just going to let you know that I know one of them, and if you want to take their name to the police station, you can.
Yeah, I have his name, David. And if he has the items, can he just bring them to the police department instead of coming here?
Yeah, what did the shoes look like?
They were black and blue. Do you have them with you?
No, I don't have them with me, but I'm able to find them because I know all my little brother's friends by the way they...
Did they have the necklace?
I'm not 100% positive about the Netflix. If you want, I can go up to the park and look for it for you and do like a whole like deep search of that park.
With David?
Not with David, but David's at school right now. If you want, you can call the school and do what you need to do.
My mom's here. Hold on.
If I scared you.
I'm just a little shook. Yeah, what was the number you wanted to give me?
Let me pull on my phone so I can give it to you. And if I've been trying to get a hold of you on TikTok just so I could tell you my brother's name and stuff like that because I didn't know if you knew it. Okay, so my stepdad's number is 716.
That's not Brandon?
That's Brandon. That's my stepfather.
I went to school with him and I know him. Did he tell you that?
No, he did not.
Oh. I'm the same age. I'm sorry, what?
Can you please not post me on TikTok or anything?
I don't even know what you look like. The door is closed.
Alright, that's okay. I just don't want to be posted up because right now I'm going through my own personal problems and I'm trying to keep my brother out of it.
Go.
But do what you gotta do, and if you need to speak to David, call that number. You got it down all the way, and if you didn't, and then my mom's Facebook is Michelle Moriarty.
Alright, wait, what was your name again?
It's Braden Pratt. You want my number too?
You said Brennan or Brandon?
Braden, Brayden.
Oh. Are you related to my son's friend Jaden?
Jaden Pratt?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my cousin.
Oh, okay.
See, and another thing, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna look for a pair of nice shoes that I might have, and I might bring them and drop them off on your porch, just so, because I feel really bad for your son, and the shit that my brother is doing is not right.
I know. And what does he know all the other boys that were with him? Because there were like 8 other kids, including Noah, Drake, and a girl, and Anthony, and then there's a few more names who I don't know.
If you pay attention to TikTok, I'm gonna talk to my brother when he gets out of school, and I'm gonna send you all the names on TikTok. Okay?
Yeah, why can't you just tell the cops?
Because if I go to the cops, my probation officer will think something suspicious of it, because I'm on probation myself, and I'm trying to get my brother deal with, so he can realize and sit there and see, like, oh shit, I'm doing stuff bad, so if you want me to take it to the cops, I'll take it to the cops. But
have you met Sven? He's not here right now, and I'll ask him if he knows you when he gets home.
Oh, he's most likely gonna know me, because my brother likes to go around running his little cocksucker saying that I'll beat up everybody for him, when in reality, I'm just trying to get my life straightened together and out of Jamestown like you are.
Thank you. I need to get out of this town. I agree. Hang on. I just told my mom to just give me a minute because she keeps trying to talk to me. I told her to wait until you leave. What did you say?
Like, it's ridiculous what these kids do in this town. Like, your son, I don't even know your son, and your son probably don't even deserve this.
Right.
So, if anything happens again, just call my stepdad and let him know that if David's still bullying him, to tell me, because I will straighten David out for you, and I will lay my hands on him for you, because this is ridiculous. But I'm gonna get going now so you feel safer.
Do you have a ride?
Do I have a ride?
Mm-hmm.
No, I rode my bike. I'm fine with it. Just please take the videos down on my brother, because he's a minor and stuff like that. So, and just take it to the police station, have the charges pressed, and then take him to court.
I know, but if I wouldn't have posted a video of him, I wouldn't have figured out what his name is.
I know you wouldn't have, but you could always ask around. Everybody knows me, and everybody knows.
I don't know you. I'm 33 years old.
Yeah, I know. But what size shoe does your son wear?
11 and a half.
11 and a half. Does he want another chain?
No, he wants his chain. I want the chain.
Alright, so I did have a couple of extra ones that I was willing to give up, but I will go and try to find his chain, and
I looked for it. I think the one kid pocketed it, so.
And just let you know, I will be hunting every single one of these kids down. And
No, don't worry about doing that. That's dangerous.
I don't care. I'm gonna make them all write apology letters.
Well, some of them looked older.
I'm 17 years old, man.
No, the boys with them look taller and older. I saw them on a porch on Foot Avenue.
Yeah, that's my mom's house.
Just open the door.
10 minutes, the cops still aren't here. The weird thing is I don't know where that kid went. That kid was... I called 911 at 10:26 a.m. It is 10:38. Police are still not here. That person could have had a weapon. Police are still not here. And I'm not gonna lie. If he actually were sincere, he wouldn't have asked me to take those videos down.
Good morning. So I got the first quarter of this video done late last night, and now it is Monday morning, but I really want this video up today, so we are gonna keep powering through because we have a lot of content to get through with Miss Adrielle. So after the boy shows up, she gets him to leave. Then she has some more visitors. After she hops in the shower, she comes running out because there is somebody else there to see her. So we're gonna let this one run through.
Do not open the door, do you understand? Do not open it!
Adrielle, I know them.
I don't care if you know them.
I know them, the Jehovah's Witnesses.
The Jehovah Witnesses.
Yes.
Okay, Sven and Nadia and my mom, get out in the kitchen. Do not go near the door. I just got out of the shower. Do not open the door. I don't care if they're Jehovah Witnesses. Stop!
I know him.
Go away. I don't care, Mom.
Okay.
Hello?
Someone else said that. We won't bother you. We just wanted to make sure it wasn't you, okay?
There is a criminal investigation going on right now. Someone attempted to murder my son. I suggest you tell your entire Kingdom Hall to stay away from my doorstep, okay?
Well, Adrielle, we got something online that said for us to come, so we just wanted to check.
Yeah, but dear, if you get anything related to my name, ignore it completely. Otherwise, you might end up being part of a criminal investigation regarding a brutal gang assault against my son.
Oh, I see. Someone else is...
I'm not trying to call 911 because you're at my doorstep, but I'm not even in clothes right now. I just got out of the shower. I am not opening the door to you. Please tell everyone if they receive a request with my name to disregard it.
Well, it'll come to me.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Yeah, I'll make sure they know.
Thank you. Bye. That same minivan. You can't be serious. They're still in the...
He's a good friend of mine. I met at Wegmans. He works there.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad they're not criminals. Good. But at this point in time, I can't take it anymore. Let's rule out this van then. Now that you know who he is, let's make sure they have that same license plate as before. This will give us some closure. I don't know why the driver has a mask on. Are you sure you know him, Mom? How do you know? He didn't open the door. Wait, what? That driver just hopped into the passenger seat? Mom, are you sure you know them? How do you know it's him for certain? Are you 100% certain? 100% positive. We need to have a talk about safety in just a minute. If you're going to be in my house, I don't care what the circumstance is. You do not open my door or respond to anyone at my door. You understand me? Yeah. You don't even say a peep. You just silently go upstairs and you get me quietly. EBM 5637, it is. It's the same minivan. I'll be damned. I don't care if they have Bibles. I don't say if they're Jesus Christ of Nazareth. I don't care if they say they're police. You come up to me quietly. You do not even answer you don't. How did you know who it was?
Because I see him at Wegmans all the time. He works there and he's really nice.
Good. Oh, he's the guy who works in the frozen section? The fish? Yeah, I know him. He is really nice. Okay. Yeah. I know who that is. Good. Now we've ruled out the minivan. They were... Who's that? Thank you. Mom, if you're going to be at my house, don't even make your presence known. Sometimes it's better to just be quiet. And when I'm recording, if you talk while they're talking and they're incriminating themselves, your voice could... Please mute that. Your voice could interfere with theirs if they're incriminating themselves. Not the Jehovah's Witnesses per se, but just in general. So if you're interrupting and whispering, my audio will pick up the closest person to me.
Okay, well, I didn't want that.
You have to just let me record and stay in the kitchen as far away from the doors.
I didn't want him to be here when the cops showed up.
The cops aren't coming.
No, that kid, I didn't want him to be here.
Why? He could have had a weapon on him and then the cops could have searched him for a weapon.
He could have shot you through the door.
Shh. That's why we wanted him to stay on the porch until...
He can find him somewhere else.
I think it's funny that her mom was like just totally not at all worried. And she was like, oh yeah, I know them. Like, I know who they are and whatever. I thought that was kind of funny. Now, Adrielle has been getting visits from like Jehovah's Witnesses. I want to say even Mormons have been stopping in to check on her. A lot of people think that she's getting a wellness check called on her because they will do that. They'll stop by someone's house and just knock and be like, hey, someone called us to just check and make sure that you're okay and whatever. So a lot of people think that that's what's happening in this case. Adrielle thinks that they're undercover cops. There's a whole nother situation we can talk about if you guys want to, but it's funny. So now she's like very scared of Jehovah's Witnesses, which I think is kind of hilarious because they are like the most non-threatening, non-scary group of people. Like, I've had them stop by my house before. Actually, when I was in middle school, they set up outside of the building, and I legit think it was like the last day of school, and our principal came on the intercom and was like, hey guys, like, yep, they're set up outside the middle school. Just be nice. Don't be rude. Like, you are representing the school. Treat them with respect. They're older than you and whatever. And like, it was just not even a big deal. So I think it's hilarious that Adrielle is having an issue with all of this. So then after they show up, then I want to say it was like a few minutes later. No, I don't think she calls the cops again, but she will kind of explain all of this and why she's so freaked out and whatnot. So I'm just gonna let Adrielle talk because honestly, hearing that woman talk is such a treat.
I have had a crazy morning. I'm going live. Click the pink circle. I just need to talk to all of you I am extremely frustrated right now that the police didn't arrive when the boy was on my porch. Police arrived 4 minutes after he left. Kept interrupting that he leave. And if I were to have just kept talking to him through the door, the cops would have been able to arrive. 911 is failing me in Chautauqua County, New York. I understand that police are occupied with other calls, but our calls are life-threatening right now. Our lives are being threatened. I know that the boy knocked on my door and claimed to have good intent, but all of the things he told me, he could have told to the police, which is why I wish the police would have arrived sooner than it took almost 20 minutes. People can act nice, but you always have to go with your gut. His little brother said, before they jumped off of my son, while my son's face was in the mud, that boy's brother and their friends said, if you tell anyone about this, we're coming back to your house and we will bring a weapon. This boy's brother wanted to get me to open the door. He could have wanted to get me to open the door for a good reason or for a bad reason. Based upon common sense and logic, it was probably a bad reason, which is why I did not open the door. Those boys could have called the Jehovah's Witnesses for me to open my door. They could have been waiting behind the bushes. And when they saw me open my door, they all could have raided into my house. You get what I'm saying? So just because my mom is saying, oh, I know this Jehovah's Witness, the Jehovah's Witnesses could have been innocent, right? But the Jehovah's Witnesses were a key to my door. You get what I'm saying? Those little boys could have called the Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't know who did. But my door would have opened to them. And the minute a criminal is behind the bushes, they could have been sitting in the bushes across the street. The minute they see the door open, they could have ran right into my house and bam-bammed us. My son said I can share one photo of his injury just to kind of rule out all of you people who are saying that this is made up. But I'm not showing his face or the rest of his body. There's just one picture that I will show later on. I have to go live right now and blow dry my hair and take him to the dentist, and then I'll get to showing the picture. But I really should not have to prove myself to people who are accusing me of lying. I need to move. We are not safe.
My batteries died, so I'm legit running on one battery right now. I should have charged them last night. But anyways, I love how she starts making up in her head, like, someone could have been hiding in the bushes. They could have just been wanting them to open the door and then run in and burglarize my house. And it's like, oh, Miss Girl, calm down. Like, these boys do stuff when you're not around because at the end of the day, you are still the adult in this situation. They're all minors. Like, be so for real. So then after she kind of goes on a little rampage and whatnot, we get to see her take her son to the dentist. You guys are gonna love this. Here you go.
We are at the dentist's office. I am so grateful that on their day off, they were able to get my son in for an emergency visit. My son's jaw is still swelled. Yesterday his teeth were loose and his front tooth was chipped. We are mostly concerned about the swelling of the jaw and the loose teeth. So the dentist came here. I will keep you posted. I hope it's good news. I have dental trauma, so this has been the scariest aspect of my son being assaulted yet. I'm in the bathroom, so.
I don't know where my keys went. I left my keys in there. They said that he has like all these chips. He has to have his teeth bound. They're taking x-rays to see the health of his roots. His teeth are loose. One tooth is severely loose, but he hopes the health of the root is good. He might need a root canal, and I hope not. I hope everything goes well. I am so scared. I am just so scared right now. I have teeth teeth, there's something about teeth giving me panic attacks, and I started having a panic attack, so I had to go outside. I don't want to see him go through a root canal. A long time ago, I had a very traumatic event at the dentist when I was living in Pennsylvania, and something about just any bad news related to teeth puts me into a panic attack. They said that only time will tell if his roots survive. Like the health of the root. Sometimes the root can die and there's nothing you can do about it. I just wish that we could get out of this town. I don't know, I just wish my kids were safe. Seeing them go through this is horrible. I don't know what to do, you guys. I don't know what to do. I don't even want to know what the results of the x-rays are. I'm like losing it right now. I'm so grateful that the dentist was able to see him today, but the back of his teeth are the worst on the right side of his face, where it's all swelled and there's all these chips, but they're able to be filled, but the teeth binding and the root canal tongue is giving me a panic attack. I feel like such an idiot sitting out here crying. I just wish I had an answer to all of this. I'm just grateful that he's able to see a dentist. I have to focus on the positives. And I need to somehow move as soon as possible because the city's crime is too high. I can't deal with it anymore. I'm gonna go back in the office now, and after I catch my breath, and I'll keep you guys posted. And then I don't know if I'll be live streaming today. I really hope people stop coming to my door. I couldn't even take a shower without someone coming to my door. I just want to move. I don't know what to do, if I am even safe to stay in my house for another night. I just wish I had an answer. And it's so scary that when you call 911, they don't send police right away. I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm living in a nightmare. All of you who have been helping and sending donations to the GoFundMe, thanks. I just want this to be over. I'm so sad that this happened to his teeth. I never wanted him to have incidents with his teeth. His teeth. It's like I was his mom watching his teeth growing, and this is just something I never thought would happen to his teeth.
So she has a panic attack, and I don't want to downplay it, like anybody's fears or phobias. Like, some people genuinely are scared of the dentist. I hate going to the dentist. I always feel like they tell me, oh my gosh, you're not doing enough for your teeth. Then the dentist comes in and he's like, oh, it looks good, bye. So it's like, which is it? But anyways, so she has a little breakdown. One of the comments that I saw in this video was hilarious. It was like, yes girl, push them tears out. It was so funny. I was like, now let's be nice. But anyways, so that was kind of funny, I thought, seeing her actually show like some emotion other than being angry and putting on such an act for the camera. I was like, well, I mean, those were real tears. She did look genuinely upset, so that's a good thing, I suppose. Like, at least we get some actual real emotion out of her. And then in her next video, which I really don't think I need to show you, she just shows her Ring doorbell footage that she has of the Jehovah's Witnesses. It's just the Jehovah's Witnesses, and she's like, yes, it's been confirmed. And I was like, Miss Girl, your mom told you she knew who they were. Like, calm down. So that video isn't even worth showing you guys. But like I said, I think her videos are getting kind of posted like out of order, because she's at the dentist, then she posts the Ring doorbell footage, unless she did that at the dentist. She cleaned up her makeup and did it. But anyways, then we have another video from the dentist's office. So I'm going to play you guys that one.
We are at the dentist. I feel that I'm one of the many who have fear of the dentist, because years ago in Pennsylvania I had a very bad experience, but luckily we found an awesome dentist where we live. I'm on the phone with the police because this is what he has to have. These are the notes. His head and neck have contusions. He has TMJ on the right. He has tons of fractures. He needs to get all of these fillings and his teeth bound. And he has to have veneers. So I have to bring this to the police department for the juvenile detective who is not answering the phone, so that they can have this documentation that he was seen by an emergency dentist. So hopefully they answer, and I'll keep you guys posted. This makes me want to throw up.
And then after they are done at the dentist, Adrielle takes her son's dental report or his paperwork to the police department. So I'll show that because of course Miss Girl records it.
After our emergency dentist visit, I went to the police department with all of the medical documentation we received at the dentist regarding my son who was assaulted. I wrote a note for the police officer giving him updates. This case has not been transferred to a juvenile detective yet. In New York State, police cannot handle cases with minors under age 18. The boys who jumped my son are all minors. The police officer has to forward this case to a juvenile detective.
She makes another post of kind of being at the police department. She had to write down everything that happened with her son, so that way, it's a formal or a more formal statement then, and they have facts written down, so that way they can give it to the juvenile detective, because in the state of New York, I guess, like she said, the police cannot handle cases involving minors. It has to go to a juvenile detective, which I guess does kind of make some sense. So here's everything she wrote down. She of course put it on the internet. Thankfully though, she did block out personal information, so that's good.
So I left a note for the police officer to give to this juvenile detective when he transfers the case over. So far we only have 5 names involved. There were 10 kids altogether who attacked my son. We only have 5 names now. Sven identified the boy, so we have a new name. I briefly explained I had to call 911 because one of the boy's brothers knocked on our door. He said he has information for the police and he's apologizing for his brother, gave me his parents' information. I recorded the entire encounter. He left my house at 10:36 a.m. I did not answer the door. The police officer arrived at 10:40 a.m. On the back, I said Sven saw the dentist at an emergency visit today. All medical updates were put in your mailbox. I'll see what happens. We're taking it one step at a time. Dealing with this alone as a single mother is terrifying. My son gave me permission to share one photo, but I decided not to because it's too graphic for TikTok. And as for his face, my son does not want to show himself in this condition. And I respect his privacy. Thank you. I have to go now.
So then after that, Adrielle does a video in her car with her son, and she has him answer some questions that she had been getting on TikTok and whatnot. So that's kind of a longer video, but I'm gonna let it play out because I just want you guys to hear kind of how he sounds about this whole situation and whatnot, because it's at the end of the day, this didn't happen to Adrielle, it happened to her son, but it really feels like she's trying to make it more about her, which a lot of people have accused her of being a narcissist on the internet, so it kind of checks out, I guess.
I'm sitting here with my son. He's comfortable answering a few questions. He's not going to be showing his face at this point in time. We are not comfortable sharing any of the pictures of his injuries after he was jumped by 9 boys. 1 girl was involved, a total of 10 people. Yesterday, we took pictures at the ER for the criminal investigation. We just left his emergency dentist visit. We dropped off the doctor notes to the police department. I also wrote a note to the detective and provided them with some more pictures. As for the commonly asked questions, number 1, Sven, how are you feeling?
Not good. That's
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Do you feel safe?
Nah.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the pain you went through yesterday?
Like an 8.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how afraid were you to get doctor results yesterday from the ER and then again today at the dentist? How scared were you to get those results at the ER?
Like a 3 or 4.
What about at the dentist?
About the same.
I was like at level 10, but I'm a mom. We did put a GoFundMe together immediately in the ER because this is the last straw for me as a mother. I want to raise my kids somewhere we feel safe. If we were to move out of this house and stay in the city of Jamestown, would you feel safe living in the city of Jamestown?
No.
Would you feel safe staying in the state of New York?
Yeah.
I don't, because they can't even arrest kids under 18. But we can agree to disagree. Would you prefer to stay in New York or move out of state?
Move out of state.
He and I both talked about a state we would prefer to move to. We're not revealing that here. Do you have any message to send to the public who is concerned? We are receiving donations on the GoFundMe. We are grateful for you. Do you have any messages or words of advice to other people who might have gotten robbed, or to how to prevent an attack? Do you have any advice?
Don't give people chances.
Don't give people chances. He was very kind-hearted yesterday. Do you want to give a little brief overview and tell the story of what happened in another video?
Sure.
Okay, see part 2. He's going to tell the story from his perspective because you've all been seeing bits and pieces of my perspective, but he's the one who survived this, so we'll do a part 2. And then in the next video, I'm not going to show it because I really don't need to, but she's asking the internet to pull the 911 calls that she made to the police dispatch. And she was like, yeah, I made all these calls and like I want to have the audio of it and just show people like how the police didn't do anything. They didn't like immediately respond when her kid was getting jumped and whatnot. So yeah, she's all upset about that, and I don't know what she thinks the internet's gonna do about it, like how they're gonna get the recording of the call. I think that's something she actually has to do, but whether or not she does decide to do it is another story. And then she shows her son's ER visit, like, paperwork and whatnot, which is kind of weird. And it's like, girl, why even do that? You're giving away all this very specific information, like the date and time that he went there. Thankfully now, though, I think she has learned to keep private information private. Because before she did not do that, she would be blasting, like, everything. But what's really funny is her pediatrician, like, essentially fired her. So I'm like, oh, girl. But, like, the ER, I mean, they have to help people. So maybe that's why she went there, or to make it more dramatic. But she kind of goes through all of the things that they found on her son. This is from our trip to the emergency room last night, May 2nd at 5:24 p.m. He had an acute head injury and multiple abrasions. They did not examine his teeth. His emergency dental visit was today. I'll show you that very soon. As you see, we arrived to the hospital at 5:24 p.m. At 7:29, he had a scan. At 7:31, he had a scan. He had another scan at 7:49, and then another scan at 8 o'clock. He left with a head injury and abrasions. They said take him to a dentist as soon as you possibly can. At the dentist, he had 2 evaluations, the x-rays and limited oral evaluation. And then this has yet to be completed, where his teeth need to be bound, and he will have these operations next appointment. Other things might be done. We have yet to complete all of the... He might need veneers. It's fucking scary. Here are the dentist notes. 24 hours following severe trauma to the head and neck. He was beat up by 9 kids yesterday. The patient was seen at UPMC ER. Mother states he does not have any broken bones. Clinically, he has multiple contusions to the head and neck. Slight tenderness to right TMJ with palpation. These are all of his teeth that have fractures. All of this. He's gonna need all of this. Patient and mother were informed of possible need for future endodontic, I don't know what TX is, on any of his teeth due to extent of trauma. A lot of his teeth were chipped and loose, and it's just a terrifying experience. It's on the right side. So I don't want to talk about this anymore. I am grateful for everyone who has been supportive. I actually just want to throw up. That's how sick I am. The GoFundMe is in my bio. I'm raising money to move out of state.
And then in the next video, she just shows more of her Ring doorbell footage of the boy that stopped by her house, and she's like, oh, it was weird. He like rode his bike by and then he went up onto the porch, and then it was like he kind of hesitated and maybe turned around, but then he like knocked on the door and tried talking to her, and then 9 minutes later the police came and talked to her, and then 2 minutes after they left, then the Jehovah's Witnesses stopped by, and it's like, oh girl, calm down. Like, she's making conspiracy theories out of like nothing. Now at first I was gonna show all this Ring doorbell footage, but I don't want to show the minor even on her Ring doorbell. Like, the footage is pretty clear, but I do not want to show him, and she's just harping on the same stuff again. Okay, so trigger warning for the next video. It is the fight that happened between her son and this group of other kids. She shows some of it, not all of it, but later you'll see she makes it very clear. You can go to her Instagram and watch the video. She just didn't want to post it on TikTok because it was too graphic and it would probably get taken down. And it's like, girl, what? Why share that at all? So here's some of the footage that she shows.
Pay attention to this kid in the blue shorts. Proudly dangling around my son's gold chain that I bought him. Right there. Dangling the chain. So proud he found it in the grass. So happy. Him. Drake Smith. While this kid, David Johnson, and this kid, Noah Johnson, were brutally assaulting my son. Hitting his head off the pavement, the mud. In an abandoned swimming pool in the middle of the woods. Well, they go there all the time. They're probably there right now. Then, after they got done assaulting him, listen to what they said. They said, tell your mom.
Tell your mom when we get around to with you. Dude's definitely telling his mom, yo.
Oh, it's not just telling me. It's telling the whole world. Let's count. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of you, the cameraman, and there is someone dressed in brown watching. Obviously, I can't show the whole thing. So there's like 11 of you, not 10. The numbers just keep going up. 11 of you. 11 of you. And how many of us showing love and support for my son? I think that number is way higher than 11. That's just a hunch. The internet does not take bullying well. I'm just going to say that right now.
So I'm not going to show you, obviously, the video. I've watched it. It's not a fair fight. It is kind of brutal. But one thing is, I've been seeing online, I'm in the snark Reddit for Adrielle and whatnot. She edits out about 2 minutes of the video, and someone does have the full video. I haven't tracked it down because I'm kind of like, I'm not showing it anyways. But I did see the very beginning. Her son definitely does throw the first punch, but then later she's like, oh, but that's what they do. They try to get the other person to throw the first punch so that they won't get into as much trouble because they were defending themselves. And it's like, okay. But it does sound like it was a predetermined fight, like this was going to happen, like they had planned on it. But that's definitely not the story that she tells. And again, we'll talk about that at the end because there is a kind of wild twist. So if you can sit through this whole video and get through to the end, you will hear like the very most shocking part of this whole thing. And then she does a little sit down video with her son. Here's that so you can hear him. He's definitely like gaming in the background, so I don't know how into this conversation he is.
Give me all your money.
Give me all your money!
It was bad. These videos are very bad. Obviously, I can't share them. The audacity of these little kids. All of them. For these kids to hurt my son for his gold chain and then hurt him for his money and on camera? On camera? I am not able to watch these. The more I watch, the worse it gets. That's how they are. They see that he has things that they don't have, and they want it. And that is why they did it. They see that he got to go back to school shopping, and that he got new shoes, he got a new phone, he got a necklace, and he's dressed nice. And then this is terrible. You don't want to see it. They were piled up on him. Piled.
Hey, Mom, you want to watch the video? Where they're all piled up on him? Give me all your money?
I didn't watch it, but I heard it.
The other videos are worse. This one's not as bad as the other ones.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Where is he?
He's in the middle of the pile of kids.
What?
That's Noah Johnson.
No. Oh, my God. I can't watch it.
That one right there was the one screaming, give me all your money.
Oh, my God.
The other ones are worse, so I'm not going to show you those.
I didn't realize it was like that.
It was bad. So.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I know.
How did that happen?
He gave chances to... That's his period. Go for a walk, Spence. Go for a walk. Don't give chances to complete strangers or people you barely know. Just because you went to school with them or you know a mutual friend, stay away from strangers.
Who was that girl running?
Anthony's sister, Alaya Anzalone.
Was she trying to help?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
She was trying to help them jump him. Yeah, she was not trying to help him. She was on top of him in the other video on a pile. They were all piled up on him.
He could have died.
He could have. Yeah.
I can't believe that.
So far I have pictures of this one, what?
It's his brother.
Whose brother? Noah has oh, that's Noah's brother? Why do they have different last names? Oh,
Are they going to go after them?
Who, the police?
Yeah.
They haven't so far.
Did you show them the video?
I just got them forwarded to me, so I
have to go to the police department.
There's no point in me sending these videos to the police officer. I have to wait for the juvenile detective to contact me, and then I can show them the video. They already told me that I have to wait for the juvenile detective to cover it, so.
When are they going to contact you?
Monday. Uh-huh. They're treating it like paperwork.
Go to the police and show them.
Go to the police again? But they're the detective isn't there. So if the detective isn't on shift, there's nothing they can do about this video because it's already an open case assigned to a cop who's responsible to forward it to a detective. Yeah. They walked around you in a circle while you were crouched down on the ground. Spitting on you?
Yeah.
One at a time?
Yeah.
That is demented.
Yeah.
How long did that go on for?
Like 10 seconds.
They all just took a turn and they just did it once?
Yeah.
That is demented. And then what happened after that?
They left and I left.
That was the end? Because that was like one video it was only a couple seconds long and...
Yeah.
Who were the ones spitting?
I don't remember.
All of them? Or was it just a handful of them?
I think it was most of them.
Were you covering your head? I'm like shocked right now seeing that. I keep getting more and more videos and it's like shocking and shocking as they keep coming. Do you think that it's fair they're running free right now, or do you think they should be behind bars?
Behind bars.
Do you think it's crazy the police haven't arrested them yet?
Yeah.
Do you think that they're going to try to come to our house?
I don't know, maybe.
What would they do if they came to our house?
I don't know.
Did the cameraman spit on you too?
I don't remember.
Were you just like shocked?
Yeah.
I'm shocked. So I drove past the woods while you were being jumped on my way to Jefferson Middle School of Jamestown, New York. And I had no idea that you were being jumped.
Yeah.
While I was looking for you. That is horrifying. I want to just like lose it that I drove right past those woods as that was happening. I'm never going to let you out of my sight again.
Okay.
I've contacted the school. They called me back today about us applying for a remote learning program. And I don't think that I want you going back to that school until... I don't want you going back to that school.
Okay.
Do you feel safe going back to that school?
Nah.
No. So, until we move,
will be homeschooling him remotely through the school's remote learning program. Do you know any kids who've done that?
No.
I mean, we did that with the, like, pandemic and such in Pennsylvania, but I am just disturbed. This is crazy. Does Jefferson Middle School do anything to prevent these things, to make students feel safe?
Nah.
Why?
I don't know.
Do fights happen in the building?
Yeah.
How often?
Not that often, but a little.
Like once a week, once a month?
Yeah, about once. Once every like 2 or 3 weeks.
So like twice a month?
Yeah.
How bad are
A few times a month.
A few times a month?
Yeah.
Where do the fights usually happen?
Always.
Do people ever get jumped in the school?
Nah.
No. Who breaks up the fights when they happen?
Teachers.
What's something the school could do to prevent this from happening in the building?
I don't know.
So then, after that, someone asks, what ended up happening with those kids? Did they get in any trouble? Have the parents contacted you to apologize? So Adrielle then goes, oh, there's essentially 2 investigations. One is with the student resource officer, like I'm guessing through the school, and then one is with the police where like she's trying to kind of press charges and get something done to those kids that beat her son up. Is essentially what she says. Okay, I am going to try my absolute hardest to go through the rest of this video. I've had a long day already. I did a ton of mowing, and we're not talking nice grass like in-town lawns. No, we're talking like out of town. I'm basically coughing up dirt and grass. Like, it's dirty. Excuse me. It's a lot. So anyways, that's why I'm dirty and filthy and look different. Now, where did we leave off? So then in the next video, Adrielle goes and shows exactly where she sees the kids that jumped her son or that beat him up, where it happened, how long it takes to get from this place to that place. She shows exact street names of where these things took place, and it's like, girl, stop. You're like releasing way too much information. Like, not everybody needs to know that. And that just kind of goes to show you how easy it would be to figure out where this girl lives. Like, she acts like, oh my god, I'm making sure when I move that my address isn't anywhere online. And it's like, girl, you're your own worst enemy. You put your last address online. So like, if you don't want your address to be shared, then you don't share it. And then she does a couple of videos talking about how these boys that had beat up her son, they had actually robbed her house last year, I believe it was. Of course, she made a ton of TikToks about that. She has Ring doorbell footage. It actually was from June 22nd of last year. She has her old TikTok pulled up. Anyway, so these boys took I think they took his AirPods, a bunch of his shoes, like he has a lot of Jordans and whatnot, and then a lot of his gaming equipment. Now, essentially why her son has, or I guess I shouldn't say her son has an issue with these boys. These boys have an issue with her son last year because they used to all hang out at a skate park together, and then they robbed his house, and then Adrielle was like, yo, stay away from these boys. They're no good. They're bad kids. Da 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 da. So then they, of course, rightfully so, stopped being friends, and Adrielle was like very adamant that he stays away from him. So then she was like, oh, it's the fact that they tried to be nice with him, tried to make it seem like they could be friends again, and then they just lured him down there and then they jumped him. And it's like, I mean, maybe, like, we don't have that part of the story, you know, like, her son might not be being 100% truthful in that. But anyway, so that just shows you that their beef goes back to, like, last year, her son and these boys. And Adrielle does a video talking about like, oh, if any news sources want to use any of my TikToks, any of the information I've provided, I give full consent. They don't need to reach out to me. Like, I want this across the news, da 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 da. And just goes on. And it's like, girl, do you really think that this is that interesting? There are actual, you know, wars going on in the world, and there's a whole situation with Gaza, which, like, oh my gosh, you know? So it's like, you really think that your son getting beat up is a big major news story. And as if this girl cannot share enough information online, she shows the report that came back from her son's dentist. So essentially, he has a chipped tooth. He possibly would need some veneers, but it's not totally for certain. He has some like limited mobility in his jaw, probably because it's swollen and whatnot. But she was like, he's gonna have dental issues for the rest of his life, in that one video where she's yelling at that one kid. And it's like, well, yeah, but like, I mean, I smacked my mouth on the metal thing along the pool in the community center one time. You know, my tooth turned black and I lost it, and then my adult teeth came in. I've chipped my adult teeth, but then I got braces and they got all buffed out anyway, so it's like it didn't really matter. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you're always gonna have dental issues in your life. I don't know anyone that's like, oh, I've never had any cavities, I've never had any tooth issues. You know, it's like, all right, you're making this into a much bigger deal than it really needs to be. And honestly, he might need veneers. She is gonna milk that for all it's worth. And then she moves on to the Jehovah's Witnesses again, because 2 Jehovah's Witnesses show up at her house again and talk with her and whatnot, and she shows the Ring doorbell like footage and whatnot of it. And then she's like, I'm convinced that these boys that beat up my son are the ones sending these Jehovah's Witnesses to my house because they're trying to intimidate me. They just want these guys to open the door so they can run in and rob me and da-da-da. And it's like, girl, calm down. Why do you think you're so special? But then she also shows all these different views from outside her house, and she shows the exterior of her house. And it's like, oh my gosh, if you don't want people showing up to your house or to know where you live, stop posting it online. But she lives for drama, so she's gonna continue doing it. But anyway, so she's all freaked out about these Jehovah's Witnesses again. Then in another video, Adrielle calls her mom, and her mom's like, yeah, I know who those dudes were that showed up at your house and whatnot. And she's like, normally when they knock, they'll like say their names and whatever. And Adrielle's trying to hype this up into like a bigger thing, saying how sketchy it is. No, it's not. Again, a bigger deal out of nothing. Like, it's not a big deal. But she's like trying her very hardest to make this seem like it's some conspiracy. And her mom's just kind of like, oh yeah, I know them. Or like, you know, I know a little bit about the Jehovah's Witnesses. They, you know, I've seen them around. Blah, 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 blah. Doesn't matter. And then there's another video too, like shortly after, where she posts that her mom got a text from the Jehovah's Witnesses saying like, hey, are you gonna, you know, you're welcome to join us for church. And then Adrielle's like, how did they have your number? And the mom was like, oh yeah, well, I like gave it to them. I was kind of like, it kind of sounds like her mom was maybe looking into joining the church potentially. But then she was like, oh, but you know, I didn't end up doing that, so it's not a big deal. And Adrielle was like, but why did they call you at 8:30? And she was like, oh, I don't know. You know, it's probably just because it's Saturday night. They want to try to get me to church tomorrow. Like, yeah, you know, her mom, like, just does not care. And Adrielle was like, but why would they text you at 8:30? And it's like, what are you, grandma? Your own mother is up at 8:30 and she's out and about. Like, her mom, you can definitely tell she's in a social setting. And Adrielle gets annoyed with her and then just, like, essentially hangs up on her. And I'm like, yeah, you're just mad because your mom didn't make this into such a big deal like you're trying to do. And then once again, Adrielle advertises the fact that the video of her son getting beat up is on her Instagram. Why? I absolutely have no idea. Alright, so there's a video that I had to see it, so essentially I want you to see it as well. She's talking about, oh, when you start talking out about your experiences with these criminals, all these rumors start. And it's like, sorry? Like, what now? What? So, enjoy.
All of the members of the gang assault record themselves assaulting my son, which led to the internet publishing these videos, which led to me sharing bits and fragments of these videos. Suddenly, all the rumors start. Those criminals were quiet until they knew they couldn't get away with it. Saturday, the rumors are flying. The excuses come rolling in. Oh, I did this. He did that. Oh, this, well, this. Which proves one thing. Criminals will get away with as much as they can possibly get away with. If I hadn't shown their faces, the store runnings wouldn't have been able to identify them to the police yesterday. Because a few of those boys robbed runnings.
if I hadn't shared their names, faces, and these videos, there wouldn't have been as much exposure and awareness of this situation as possible. So, I have one reaction to all of the rumors flying around the internet right now about my son. Criminals are silent until they get exposed. Then the excuses and lies to cover their criminal actions start rolling in once they get caught. Criminals will never own up to their behavior. Criminals will never admit their actions. And these aren't just bad kids. These aren't just teenage rebels. These bad kids aren't just the class clown. These are criminals who were raised by criminals. And if I could be of any influence to all of you watching and following, supporting this story, it would be to use your voice and speak. It doesn't matter what the general public's reaction is going to be. Those who believe criminals lying to cover their tracks can go along and continue hanging out with criminals. They can go hang out with the criminals and catch bed bugs. And those of you who support the truth and show you love, provide you with resources, and help elevate you, those are who matter. Those are the people who will spread your message. Those are the people who will interview you and expose this to the news. Those are the people who will fight for change. And above all, those are the people who will serve you your justice. I don't give a flying fuck what any criminal's excuse is. We're lucky my son didn't lose his life that day. Go to my Instagram and watch the video. How his face hits the pavement. These kids walked free. And when they walked free with their teeth. My son's gonna have dental issues for the rest of his life. Because of these criminals. Criminals! Criminals! Bad to the bone. Evil to their core. People who know right from wrong and wake up every day with the compulsion to do wrong. They are compelled to do what's wrong. And I see you. I see you!
Then Adrielle gets a message about from somebody else who said, like, yeah, my kid, or I know someone that's been jumped by these boys before. They do it, pretty frequently and whatever. Then Adrielle goes with that woman's story and just is like, how horrible these kids, they do this every day. And it's like, look, I'm not trying to defend these kids and say, like, they're not bad kids. They very well could be. And, I think these kids need to figure out how to talk before just beating up kids, because soon they're going to be adults, and then they're going to have real issues if they're just beating people up, you know what I mean? But Adrielle's kind of one of those people that takes tragedies or bad things that have happened to other people and, like, make them hers. Like, acts almost like it happened to her by saying how horrible it is, it's so scary, like, she wants justice for her son as well, and it's like, alright, neat, So, with people like this, you gotta take what they say with, like, a grain of salt, because they might not actually be speaking from their experience, but from somebody else's experience. Then we get another story from Adrielle about how these same boys supposedly were going to this lady's house. They were neutering cats and then putting the cats and the body part they removed from the cats on this woman's doorstep, and that there was, I don't know that I can say it, but that red bodily fluid that we all have inside of our limbs and whatnot, that it was on her porch and that they were just tormenting her, and it was so bad. But here's the thing, she gives this person's, like, she doesn't give out her address, but she says it's on this street and this street. And it's like, stop giving out people's personal information. Like, that could be very much perceived as doxing. Anyways, But she says that, oh, they neutered these cats when they were still alive. And it's like, yeah, I mean, we did too. One time I helped my brother neuter a cat. It's not uncommon. Like, that's how you neuter them. I mean, you can take them to a vet, but you're gonna pay a ton of money, and there's safe ways that you can do it on your own, like at your house. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not, I'm not gonna say it's not inhumane. Like, some people could definitely see it as that. And is it the nicest? No. But how do we neuter bulls, you know, like cattle? Yeah, they're awake for it, you know? It's not as traumatic as she's making it seem, but also she wasn't raised on a farm and I was, so I'm a little used to seeing that stuff. Oh, and if you guys are wondering, this is my dog, Jake. I don't know if you can see him, but he was in my video, or the section of this video I recorded this morning laying on my bed. Jake is a red heeler. He's my best pal, and he's not supposed to be on my bed unless I invite him up on my bed, but we'll let it slide because he was sleepy and he had a hard time waking up this morning. Then, after that story, Adrielle goes into another story about how these boys tormented this retired fire chief, and he ended up having to move away too, and is like going on and on about this. And it's like, okay, see, you're just trying to be as dramatic as you possibly can be and get as many videos out of this situation as you can. Where's your proof? You know, like, I'm sorry, you record freaking everything. Where's the proof that this stuff happened to these other people? Also, are they okay that you're just blasting their stories online? Oh my god, wait, okay, so then she tells a story about her father, and just the way she behaves in it is so comical. That shit is so comical to me right now. I don't know if you guys have seen that meme, but that's pretty much how I feel about this. So watch, enjoy, and I hope you like it.
This video on the top of my Instagram is brutal. All of those involved in the video are walking free. Tomorrow I'm finding a lawyer, and I'll spend as much as I have to for my son to receive justice. Watch that video. How close was my son to death? 10 versus 1. 10 people. 20 shoes. 20 people kicking him in the head. Did you know head injuries can sometimes unpredictably become fatal? And I have to keep a close eye on my son, because if you watch what happened to him in this video right here, he had a near-death experience inflicted upon by those people in the video. And they're walking free in Jamestown, New York. They aren't behind bars. I filed a police report in the emergency room at the hospital. I signed a statement. The officer, whose name I have not released, said he's forwarding it to a juvenile detective. I have not heard back from a juvenile detective. I am so worried about his head injury. I have to tell you a story. Watch part 2. I didn't think about my father until videos of my son's assault were forwarded to me. You can find the videos right here on my Instagram page. I'm going to tell you a story about my father. Let me dig up a picture of my father really quick. This is a picture of my father holding Sven, my son, as a newborn baby. You'd never know that my father in this picture is homeless. He spent all of his life homeless after he was discharged from the United States Army. I'm a military brat. Both of my parents are disabled military veterans. They were subject to hazing in the 1980s and 1990s. On the streets of Detroit, my father lived his life as a homeless military veteran. Stealthy. When those videos were forwarded to me of all of the boys and one girl who assaulted my son and jumped him 10 versus 1. The video's at the top of my Instagram.
You can see how brutal the attack was there. I thought of one thing after I watched that video. I thought about my father. My father died. And then he was brought back to life in Colorado. My father gave too many chances to too many people who screwed him over. He sold this buffalo that he carved from stone by hand. He sold it for $12,000. He took that money as a homeless man, came to Jamestown, New York when Sven was born. He had $12,000 cash in his pocket. Well, after he met someone who said, "We have a place for you to live. It's an art studio. You can make all the art you want." He got on a train. He went to Denver, Colorado. It was a ruse. The person never responded. So he went from 1990 until 2009. You do the math. 19 years. Yeah? 19 years homeless on the streets of Detroit to homeless on the streets of Denver. Life as a homeless military veteran was not easy, and he was an alcoholic. One day, after being fed up, he was always getting arrested for pitching tents in parks. He was always arrested for sleeping in the public. He was fed up, and he took his life. He drank himself to the end, and he died, and someone found him on the sidewalk. He had no pulse. Miraculously, they were able to resuscitate him. But when he woke up, there was one problem. His vital organs had lost so much oxygen that he was now disabled. He had brain damage. Even more disabled than he already had been. So when he wanted to form a sentence, he could think about what he wanted to say, but the speech delay was so delayed that for example, if he wanted to say, "The white elephant wagged its tail," he would say, "His tail, elephant, white, wag." So his speech was jumbled, and he's lived his life since, what year did he receive brain damage? I think this happened in 2014. He's lived his life with brain damage since then. I have a lot of stories about my father, and I met him when I was 18. I never knew he was homeless, and I turned 18. I went to the Greyhound bus station. I did eeny, meeny, miny, moe between New York City and Detroit. Detroit won. I called my dad and surprised him and said, "I'm here to meet you." To find he actually was homeless. So I spent 2 weeks in Detroit homeless with my dad. And I'll tell you, it was a very interesting couple of weeks. I spent a lot of time in the library. Nonetheless, I didn't think about my father until I was forwarded some videos that you can find on my Instagram page. Seeing all 10 of those kids doing that to him really gave me flashbacks of what happened to my father. And how my son was this close to such a head injury. All of the kids are named, and they're pinned at the top of my profile. You can see them for yourselves and what their faces look like. You can Facebook their parents and see what kind of families they come from. But here's the thing with my father. How many of you have seen a crazy religious homeless man? My dad was a crazy religious homeless man. And I wondered, what would my father do if he did not have brain damage right now and I were to show him those videos? I know exactly what he would say, and I know exactly how he would react. He would say, Adrielle, those children work for the devil. They are workers of Satan. They are the devil's pawns on this earth. I don't know if he'd think they could be saved or not. Probably. And it made me start to really think about religion, being the atheist I am and all. I wish I could talk to my dad about this. I do. My dad's a big dude. He's like 6'2". He was always super jacked. And crazy.
Okay, so then after that, which I'm not going to speak much on her father, because I'm not going to lie, that really doesn't have much to do with this, but I just thought it was so funny that I wanted you guys to see it too. So then she talks about being so angry she can't blink. That's another video. I just have to show it to you guys because it is so funny.
You know what makes criminals uncomfortable? Looking them in the eye. You know what makes criminals second guess their actions? Looking them in the eye. You think I'm talking strangely? Acting strangely? My behavior is odd? I want those children to see the anger in my eyes. I'm beyond sad. I'm furious. And I'll talk to each single one of them without even blinking. That story about my father was from the year 2014. And it's so sorry that that happened to him. You think I'm slurring? You think I'm acting strange? You want to start spreading rumors about me like you spread about my son? I know you watch me. And I want you to know I see you. I know those kids watch me on here. And I know they're threatening me every day and I see them. Every time I think about those kids, the threats they made to my son, the assault my son went through, I get put into a fight or flight. And I'll tell you one thing. I'm so angry, I can't even blink. You think this is fake? You think this is a scam? You think this is staged? You think I'm living some bougie life? Yeah? This is all for money? I'm on my way to my son's dentist appointment. This is my house. It's not a mansion. I don't care about things like this. I can get by. I'm down to earth. I'm humble. It doesn't take like a brand new remodeled house. I'm obviously like, I love how people are saying this is a scam when I have fucking drop ceilings. Like, yes. Oh, yes. I have so much money with my apartment that has drop ceilings. Like, I'm just saying. Now back to you. And you know who you are. Do you know how difficult it is for someone like me to have to open my social media and see my son be assaulted in the thumbnail picture? I am getting angrier and angrier every day. Angrier and every day. Angrier and angrier every day that they're walking free. And if you're wondering why I might have a stutter or if you think my speech is slurred, I am speaking to all of you off the top of my head. A lot of my videos, I go like this to formulate my thoughts. But right now, I'm freeballing it. Speaking freestyle off the top of my head. And maybe it's not perfect. Maybe I do stutter. But those of you spreading rumors have got to stop spreading rumors and help my son receive justice. I can't fucking believe that there are actually people defending these children who could have easily killed my son. That video is up there. For those of you who have seen it, you've seen it. It's like a fucking horror movie. Quit calling my son a liar. Quit saying he deserved it. Quit trying to make me look bad. Like a single mom who's terrified for her son's life, who's terrified for her daughter's lives, who's terrified for my own life, isn't worth advocating for. Spread as much awareness to this as possible. And I'll look you right in the eye without even blinking. That's how angry I am.
So then she has a video posted about leaving the dentist. Now, I'm not totally sure if this is the same dentist appointment that he had went to before or if this was another one. It's not super clear. But this is where she says that he has reduced mobility in his back molars. His teeth are tightening up because, like, a few of them are kind of loose and whatnot, which I feel like if you just don't wiggle teeth, they'll stiffen up again, you know? So anyways, he's done with that appointment. Then she takes his paperwork to the police station. So then we learn that the case has, in fact, been moved on to a juvenile detective, so it should, then be moving forward just a little bit more. Then her son is served a letter where he's been given 5 days of out-of-school suspension from the school. She makes another video with her mom, and she's like, so not only did they try to say, like the school officials say that Sven, her son, consented to being jumped, but then when he gets sent back to school, he'll go back to classes with these kids that jumped him. So she's like, they're not providing safety, and it's like, all right, yeah, like, we had 2 girls in my school that had restraining orders against each other, so that's how they were ensured not to be in the same classes together. I don't know, like, take out a restraining order, maybe. Or, like, send these kids to a counselor and try to help, like, work out their issues, perhaps. But anyways, it's a whole big dramatic thing with Adrielle. She also mentions going and having to see a lawyer and potentially suing the school, which it's like, I don't know of anyone that has really been able to sue a school that I know of. I am definitely wrong on that. It's just that I don't know of anyone that's successfully sued a school. So then Adrielle catches wind that the same boys that beat up her kid have now beat up another kid. So I'm gonna play all these videos about that situation because, again, it's funny and she's taking something that happened to somebody else and, like, making it about her.
There was a very disturbing video that was just leaked. It's at the top of my Instagram page. These criminals have an MO. They gang up on one boy, in this case, a special education student, put him under duress and coerce him into throwing the first punch, even though he did not want to. And then, after the special education student tries to throw a fight, they gang assault him. This is what my son fell victim to on May 2nd of 2024. And these boys record themselves doing it so they can say, oh, look, he tried to come at me first, when they knew exactly what they were doing because it was a premeditated gang assault. And it happens on a daily basis in the city of Jamestown, New York, at Jamestown Public School District. We need safety. I need to get my children out of this city as soon as possible. The public school will hold all parties accountable, including the expulsion and suspension of that special education student who needs justice. You can watch the video. It just happened today. I'm not revealing the boy's name. They do it on purpose. It's premeditated. They're so twisted. Help us move as soon as possible. These are the monsters who nearly took my son's life.
I am just distraught to see that not only some of the boys who went unnamed at my son's gang assault did that to the poor special education boy. I am so sick of being angry. The video is on my Instagram. I can't post it here. Why is this world so evil? Why does this school district keep letting it happen? If that boy gets held, if that special education boy gets punished because those sneaky kids coerced him into throwing a punch, he did not consent to that. he was outnumbered the same way my son was. But he had no one there to help him. He had nobody. His name is Billy. Wait, I just got permission from a family member. They posted the assault on social media. They posted it to Facebook. You guys need to help us. I can't believe they're getting away with this. I'm sick of being angry. All of my anger is just me wanting to cry. I'm so sick of crying. That boy Billy needs justice, and so does Sven. They need justice. I don't even know if Billy's family took him to the hospital. I don't know if Billy's family has insurance. I don't know if Billy's family is safe. I can't believe they did it again. They did it again. They did it again. They did it again, Grandma. They did it again. They assaulted another boy.
The same kids?
No, there were two of them who look identical to the unnamed teenagers at Sven's gang assault.
How bad do they hurt this kid?
He was special education. He thought they were gonna be nice. He thought they were playing around. He thought they were being nice.
Are you live streaming?
No. I just can't take it anymore. They lied to him.
When did they do this?
Today at Jamestown High School. In the bathroom.
You go
Watch the video.
You would go up and talk to the superintendent.
The superintendent doesn't care.
He better start caring because you're suing the school.
I
You're
am?
suing everybody.
I don't know what attorney. No, that kid built the whole Billy's family should sue the school. If I should, all these families whose children are.
Do you know the family?
No, but they gave permission for me to publish it. It just happened today. They shared it to Facebook.
And then when did it happen?
Today. They cornered him. They were playing around. They convinced him. They lured him in the bathroom so they were going to play a game. They're sick and demented.
And how bad did they hurt him?
You look and see. They're out of control. And so is this school district in Jamestown, New York. The video's on my Instagram. At this point, we just need to move somewhere safe that has a safe school district that doesn't allow animals like this to have the upper hand and roam free. This is traumatizing.
So, Adrielle said that she is thinking about potentially suing the school because they suspended her son for 5 days. And she was like, and this thing happened where he got beat up. It happened 5 blocks away from the school, which is funny because, like, in an earlier video, she said it happened 2 blocks away from the school. So it's like, which is it, Miss Girl? But whatever. So, anyways, she was like, by them by them suspending my son, they are essentially taking responsibility for what happened to him and him getting beat up. So I could technically, if I wanted to, sue the school. So then Adrielle, in the same evening, has a phone call with her mom. Honestly, her mom sounds so fed up with her, which is just hilarious to me because, yeah. So, I'm just gonna let you listen to that conversation.
Hello? You know how the principal and the liaison officer came to the house today?
Yeah.
And what did they do?
Well, they wanted to talk, and you wanted to record, so they left. Then they came back with a letter saying Spen's suspended.
Right. And where did the assault take place?
Not at the school.
Right. Where did it take place?
The park.
Yeah, and what does the suspension mean?
That's doing something on school grounds.
Which means that even though it happened off school campus, the school takes responsibility for my son's assault.
Oh, yep, so they can be sued.
Yeah, and they put that in writing.
Yeah, you can take that to the lawyer, too.
Yeah. Because if they suspended all involved, including the victim, they are responsible for those people who they suspended.
I'm so disturbed that they suspended him. He's a victim. They're totally victim shaming him. He's in such a bad place from all the trauma, the physical, mental trauma, emotional.
Mm-hmm.
And they did that to him. And then they walked away without even finished talking to you. That was awful. They wouldn't even hear what you had to say.
Yeah, I put the medical bills in their face and they walked away. They didn't even care to see it, even though they took responsibility for the assault.
Yeah.
Is it a civil lawsuit?
Well, I would think. Well, they're doing criminal by what they're doing now, so it could be criminal trial, and they usually do the criminal trial first and then the civil trial after.
Where do I file it?
Well, it depends if it goes to the Supreme Court, but probably just like Mayville.
Do I have a lawyer fill it out for me, or do I fill it out myself?
Oh, yeah, something like that. You should have a lawyer.
And who, do you know a lawyer in town, local, who would help me with this, or no?
Oh, there's probably some lawyer. Maybe that Shiwaka.
All right, I'm gonna go. I love you. Good night.
Love you. Good night.
So once again, we basically just went over the exact same thing for like the umpteenth time. Then one other kind of bigger development that happens is Adrielle's son actually does get his shoes back. So she goes to the school, she picks up his shoes, she gives them back to him. He's like, oh, like, did they find my chain? And she was like, no, they didn't find your chain, which supposedly she bought him for good luck. I had also seen people commenting like, you started a GoFundMe for $30,000, but didn't you like spend $17,000 in a month? Like, just kind of on frivolous things. And I was like, yeah, she kind of does that a lot. She goes between saying, oh, this is how much I make as a content creator, and then being like, oh, help me, I'm poor. Like that Bridesmaids, help me, I'm poor. Sorry, not funny. And so when she goes to pick up the shoes and whatever, she shows the shoes and she's right outside of the kid's school and like shows the front door. And it's like, you're so concerned about privacy, but then you are just openly publicizing where your kid goes to school. Like, and it's so specific. The front door has like a vinyl decal on it and whatnot. And it's like, okay, so girl, you're scared for your life. You're scared for your kids' life, supposedly, but you have no problem saying this is where they go to school. This is what the building looks like. Like, girl, be so for real. And then Adrielle is visited by more Jehovah's Witnesses, and she videos the entire thing. And she tells them like, oh, if anyone like calls you guys, like, I'm not doing it. I think that some people are trolling me. Like, I think people are just calling it in. People that I don't even know. Like, you guys need to be super careful when you come here because my kid got jumped, and is like warning them like, don't come to my house because they could just be waiting for you to open the door and they could be hiding in the bushes and trying to break into my house. It's like, okay, that's a bit of a jump, but like, sounds great. So, okay, up until like now, that's pretty much just where this is at. She's very concerned about moving, about going and finding a secure, safe, different place to live. She is throwing a bit of a fit about how hard and how competitive it is to find a rental. And it's like, yeah, girl, you bragged so much about living in one of the cheapest real estate regions of the country. And now you're shocked and surprised that it's hard to rent in other places. Like, also, you were saying the crime goes up because what am I trying to say? It was so cheap where she lives right now in Jamestown, New York, because of the high crime rate. And I did look it up. It is, in fact, 36% higher than the national average. So she was right about that. Like, I just wanted to fact check and make sure. But she was right. So now she's, like, shocked that they're asking for some pay stubs, for her driver's license, like, for different forms of ID. She's like, what? Like, why do they need that? They need to know what kind of car I drive. And it's like, girl, it's just part of the process. Is it fun? No, but if you want to move out and move somewhere new, that's what you gotta do. Super sorry about it. Now, she is gonna move in any of a 100-mile radius around where she currently lives. This is because her daughter, okay, so she has a son, he's the oldest. Then 2 younger girls from what I understand, but it kind of sounds like she doesn't have anything to do with the third one. Like, she doesn't see them very often. They just live with the dad. I think he has full custody. But then her oldest daughter lives with her, but she also has to probably live so close to where the dad lives because they share custody. So that's one reason that she can only move so far away. Like, she can't leave the state, like move away from the state. Now, about the whole thing that just kind of blew my mind as I was researching this, a lot of people are suspecting that she wants to move away so bad and like just really quick because her son is being accused of essaying. I've heard either one or two girls. The girl in the video, I don't know if that's one of the girls in the situation. Now, all of this is very much hearsay and alleged. As far as I know, there's been no actual reports filed or anything like that, but I guess in the video where her kid's getting beat up, one of the boys says like, that's what you get for touching my sister, or like one of them says, that's what you get for touching me. Like the girl in the video, I think, says that. You can kind of hear it, but that is kind of now what's slowly starting to come out. So I think that's what Adrielle was talking about when she was saying, oh, all these rumors are started. And it's like, oh, are you trying to cover up the fact that your son did something to two classmates potentially? Now, we don't know for sure. I'm on, like I said, the Reddit snark, and all I'm seeing is a lot of people like, oh, well, allegedly this happened. And then there's a few other people that are making videos online, none that I've actually seen, where they're talking about this alleged essay. Now, I say alleged because, of course, we don't have any facts or anything like that. If you guys want me to do an update video kind of on that and what I find, like whether or not her son actually did do anything, let me know in the comments down below. But this video has already gotten so insanely long, and I'm sorry. I cut out so many videos I was going to include, but I just wanted to give you guys a good rundown. Again, sorry it got so long, but if you guys want me to do follow-up videos, definitely let me know in the comments down below. But I'm gonna stop talking now. If you've made it this far through, comment a heart emoji down below, or comment the less than and then the number 3, like the less than symbol and the number 3 because it makes a heart. Comment that if you made it all the way to the end. I'm really just curious to see who stuck it out this long. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back on Wednesday with another video, hopefully shorter than this one, but thank you guys. You are troopers for sitting and watching my videos. I hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, I'm not going to be doing 2-hour-long videos very often. So have a fantastic start to your week, and I'll see you guys back here on Wednesday with another video. Bye, guys.